Ashleigh, what do you think it is about writing versus just reflecting on some of these like dark, ugly thoughts that is so much more powerful? Because I'm sure there's probably people that are listening to this that's like, do I need to write it out, or can I just think about these experiences that I've been putting off? What is it particularly about writing this thing out and then deleting it that just makes it so powerful?
Yeah, well, first, like I said, sometimes in the writing with that space between thinking and executing, you more comes up than when you're just reflecting,
Mhm.
right? But also there's a real power in execution of writing. It's like you see it, especially in your own handwriting. You're not letting it just stay within your system. It's coming out. It's like being seen and heard. I just combined those words. Sometimes my brain works ahead of me, right? Being seen and heard and almost validated, right? Because that's what in anyone in life we're kind of seeking like a validation of what has impacted us.
Hmm.
Um, and so when you're getting it out and it's important enough to write it out, right? Which the brain also says, oh, this is important enough. You are really hearing because most of us are like, oh, I'll listen to my friend and let them tell me. But when us, if our system's like feeling all these emotions, we're like, I don't have time to listen to you. Like, I got to go do this and I got to go do this. And so that also creates these walls within ourselves of communication. And so writing says it's important enough, right, to also get it out. And then again, yes, it's not gone instantaneously, but there's this real freeing of like, here it is. I've seen it, I've heard it. I have compassion with how this experience or experiences have impacted me, but I no longer want it to dictate who I am.
Hmm.
And there's just something really powerful. And you'll actually find resistance, like a lot of times, to want to hold on to it, right? And in that resistance is also showing you that parts of our identity, because it does, all of us get wrapped up in these experiences,
Right.
right? Parts of our identity. And that can't not be. Of course, our identity gets connected to the biggest events and things in our life, right? People say all the time, ever since that happened, or I've never been the same, right? Or that changed everything. So whether we want to or not, parts of our identity are wrapped into it, which is why it feels hard to let it go. And so people understand whatever alters us, the more emotionally charged something has been in our life, more fearful, more, life altering, the brain actually holds on to it. It it takes a snapshot neurologically of everything connected to it and it holds on to it because it thinks if I remember this, it's never going to happen again or I won't let it happen again, right? Whatever hurt us. But in doing so, it's just continuing to hurt us.
Hmm.
And that's why it's a really important aspect to recognize that. And that's part of that resistance. The brain says, I don't want to let this go. I got to remember this because holding on to this is going to help you so it doesn't happen in the future. And we have to say, you know what? Holding on to the wounds doesn't help us. And in fact, letting the wounds and all the disempowering emotions and hurt go allows us to step into the wisdom and the growth because that is the other side of anything challenging we've gone through is the growth, empathy, wisdom, strength that comes from it. But as long as our brain's still holding on to the protective parts, that doesn't really fully allow us to step into the growth part, which is what we all want, right? That's at least the payoff of going through hell. We want that aspect. And this also allows you to further release and lean more into the empowering aspects, right? Of everything we've gone through with life. And isn't that what we're all seeking? Like that sense of progress as a human being, right?
Yeah.